Alright, so, I'm going to be doing a review of Darkwing Duck, the Justice Ducks. This is the second volume of the Dynamite series. This was sent to me by my friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again, brother. And yeah, so we're going to talk about... I did a review of Volume 1 a little while ago. I really enjoyed the first story arc. I thought it was a cool, I thought it was fun, kind of poking fun at the whole hero's return kind of thing. I also liked how Darkwing really played off of all the characters. I liked the overarching plot, but I do feel like it ended a little too fast. And I gotta be honest, that's how I feel like right here, is that, you know, I just feel like we've... the Darkwing comics over at Dynamite aren't at right now. Now, keep in mind, I haven't read. I do really want to read. I absolutely 100% want to read the Darkwing, the Negaduck spin-off comic, because it's written by Jeff Parker, who's a writer I really enjoy, and I heard that's really good. But this, I think the Dynamite Darkwing books, and to be fair, there is another book I want to read from the Darkwing line, the Justice Duck spin-off comic, which is basically spun off of this, and I'll get to that in a minute. I do want to read those before, but as for main Darkwing title, I think Boom did it better. I really do think Boom Studios did it better as a series. It definitely had a lot more stakes to it. It had a lot more interesting story arcs. I think the Quackerjack one-shot story was pretty brutal. Like, it was a dark story. Yeah, that Quackerjack story they did was really messed up. Like, I don't know how they got away with it in those comics. Anyway, as I was saying, I do think this original run, and I do understand that they ended after 10 issues and just decided we're just going to renumber the comic after 10 issues. Yeah. So let's talk about this. This comic basically is a setup for the Justice Duck spin-off book, which I do kind of want to read. But again, here's the other thing I'm having problems with, is that Dynamite comics are really slow, like, to come out and trade. Like, obscenely slow to come out and trade. Like, I'm still waiting for the second volume of Gargoyles to come out. And also the Gargoyles Dark Ages book. And I don't know when they're going to do Gargoyles Quest. And I'm still waiting for that Kong book, that King Kong, the Great War comic to come out. It got delayed to, like, January, but I still don't fucking believe it. So yeah, Dynamite, they come out with all these cool comics, and then they just shit the bed on collecting them in trade. I don't get it. Like, and you could say, oh, it's an independent line. They don't, it's an independent comic line. They don't have, it's not a big problem for, if it's Marvel or DC. No, that's bullshit. Because while it does take a while for the other, like, indie lines like Dynamite and IDW and Image, they come out consistently. Like, they have a consistent schedule, and by God, they meet it 90% of the time. Dynamite, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if they just need help with that, but they are doing themselves no favors trying to get these books in trade. Anyway, so getting on topic, this story arc basically follows the second line, where, if you guys remember, in the first storyline, the Justice Ducks showed up to help Darkwing fight Negaduck and the returned villains. But now Darkwing has, doesn't want to be around the Justice Ducks, it's all about him, and he's gone to a new museum where he encounters a unknown villain who kidnaps Launchpad, leading to Darkwing begrudgingly going to work, team up with the other Justice Ducks in order to save Launchpad. The comic itself has some good jokes. Like, there are some legit good jokes, and I do like the banter he has, especially with Neptuna, which for some reason he has the most beef with, and not Gizmo Duck. If you guys remember the cartoons, him and Gizmo Duck had the biggest, had a big beef between them. But here it's, like, treated on the back end of it. And I do like, there's a cute scene between Morgana Macabre and Darkwing. But the story itself is really fast-paced. Like, it's only, like, 4 issues long, and this comic does itself no favors of being so fast. In fact, it ends on such an anticlimactic... Like, the villain gets revealed at the last 2 pages of the end of the comic, and it's some villain called Murdoch, we've never heard of, and he's basically his plot gets foiled after his big monologue. He gets put in a net, and off-panel Launchpad gets saved by the Justice Ducks. That's the end of the book. It feels super rushed, and none of it feels like the adventure. Just feels like it's just being made up as we go along, and that's kind of the problem I have with it. Is that the comic itself really does feel like, you know, there's nothing really here to really grab onto, which sucks because I'm such a, you know, I really like that first volume, but this one, it just feels like we're just, you know, blowing through the comic as fast as we can because we're like, well, this book's over, we're just gonna end it as fast as possible. And it just felt, you know, like, I understand it's trying to be like a, you know, Brave and the Bold book, but it loses itself throughout the story, and I just wasn't having fun. There were a few jokes here and there, but for main story-wise, nah. So this did not, the first Dynamite Darkwing run petered out, and I think, again, Boom Studios takes it. But again, that's a little unfair. Also, again, I do really want to read the Negaduck spin-off, which God knows when that's coming out. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this comic? Do you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Also, once again, I'd like to thank my bro Chris for sending me this book and the others, both now and in the future. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.